Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball. It's episode number 17, and we are on to the first year player draft. We are 29 and 18 in the league right now, sitting, third place overall. And we also enter this draft with the third pick. Yes, we had the worst record in the league last season, but just like the season before, where we had the worst record in the league, the division above us, the championship league, the teams that were sent down, one of them had a worse record than what we did. So then, when compared to us, they got the first overall pick. We got second because they were now considered in our league. Well, the same thing has happened again this year, though even worse. And instead of getting the second pick, we have the third pick. There were two relegated teams, Louisville and Fontana, that both ended up with a worse record than what we had. So then, when compared to us in that head to head, yeah, they get the top picks. So we're going to be third this year. That's okay. That is still going to be plenty of quality. You would figure that just like last season, we could potentially get somebody who is an instant impact player, potentially. And at the very least, we will have multiple 4, 5, 6 players that will be very, very high end talent. Let's go ahead and start the draft. All right, so the first two picks are done. It's our turn. We have plenty of cash to get anyone and everyone. The demand is not going to be an issue, and that is certainly going to be an advantage for us as we have continually saved a ton of money where other teams are really stretching that budget. We're going to be good. So with, almost 3,000 choices. Now, I have gone in and changed our comparison of relative ratings instead of to professional league to Major League Baseball, so we can really see, scaled up, right? There's going to be plenty of players, especially for the, the first pick or two, that for our level are really good. David Ramsey here, or Ramsey David, whichever it is, two first names. He, a college junior, relative to MLB, is a 3-star, 3.5-star guy. For us, he's a 4.5, 5-star kind of guy. So he is the best talent right now in terms of how good is he today. Now at 3, 3.5, MLB 4.5, 5 for us. This is an ace day one. This is somebody we could instantly put into our starting rotation and have our starting rotation be better. So this is definitely a win now kind of pick. And at 23, he's asking for $5 million, and slot is close to 7 anyway. It's like 6.3, so offering him 6.3 would be the obvious, right? The obvious. It would definitely give him what he wants, what he needs, and for us, he would be really good day one. Now, of course, what we care about though is potential, right? We want the best picks we can get. Now, there's a reliever here. Yeah, 5-star potential, but come on, it's a reliever. But a catcher, 2 starters. Let's hope some of these guys are available in the second, third rounds, because none of them are going to give us the, mega. There's your Ramsey David right there. So Ramsey David is that first one that pops up in terms of, yeah, he's good. Kumar Rocker also are looking like kind of the best options. So Ramsey David, obvious first pick, even though he doesn't have the highest ceiling compared to Major League Baseball, he does have the win now option for us. So let's go ahead and get that win now pick out of the way, and then we will we'll offer slot. Yeah, recommended slot 6.7. All right, so compared to Major League Baseball, we're now looking at 2-star kind of guys in terms of the overall, and in terms of the potential, though, there's still some high-end picks. A reliever who looks really good, but of course, come on, it's a reliever. Probably wanting to grab this catcher, 18 high schooler. I would imagine we're looking at something along the lines of high school sophomore. That's not how that works, but okay. We'll take them. I think you've got to take somebody who's expected to be that good, right? Don't you? Or do we drop now to how do we compare here? 5-star, how many are actually seen? See, this is where it gets complicated because now all of a sudden you have multiple selections. What about the overall side? Yeah, so we're not looking at anybody right now who is like, ooh, any longer. I mean, this is already compared to our level. Definitely not as deep of a draft as we had last year. Let's go ahead and get that high potential catcher. Catchers are so valuable. So realistically, we're only getting that one ready now kind of guy. We're getting what looks like a future second baseman, current shortstop, good contact, power, home run, fairly good discipline. Well, it's a good thing we drafted a ready now starting pitcher because the same day as the draft, the game that we played that day, our current ace, Mckay, who's not exactly ace material at this stage, good second or third starter, but still only kind of Well, anyway, elbow inflammation, out for 2 to 3 months. He's going to miss a huge chunk of the season. Now, of course, we have to still sign the guy from the draft, so I don't know how I want to treat this one, but let's go ahead and put him on the DL because that's the obvious place for him. With 11 slots available and plenty of time to be able to store players away in AAA, it's time. It's time we bring one of these guys up. The one who is most ready is not the best prospect, which means he might find himself back in AAA here at some point. About 3-star current, 3.5-star potential. He was our 18th round pick from last season. This was not a top-notch guy by any means, and there's no way we're finding somebody this ready that far down in this year's draft. This year's draft just did not have the depth of last year's at all, but I assume that might have had something to do with the fact that it took a year and a half before we had our first draft, so maybe it was 2 pools combined or something along those lines. Extra year development, I don't know. Everybody having to wait 2 years to get a draft could have had something to do with why we had such an insanely deep draft a year ago, and this year just nowhere near the quality available. But anyway, so here we are. We have a player who immediately was good enough to be in AAA last season. He was 6-3, 3.02 ERA in 18 starts a year ago. Straight to AAA. I mean, he was good. Wins above replacement was 1.5. This year, in just 11 starts, remember it's only June. In 11 starts, ERA is 1.75. He's 4-1 overall. He's only had 2 home runs that he's given up. He's only had 15 walks. The WHIP is only a little bit better than a year ago, but it's clear that he's the one big area of improvement besides striking out more batters is he gives up 1 fewer home run per 9 innings, and it's now 0.3. 3.1 on the wins above replacement. I mean, he's having a fantastic year so far. So he did make some progress from last year to this year, and he's ready. Let's give him a shot. He'll replace Nowicki for now, and then once we do get that draft pick signing, whether it's in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, then we'll make that decision because I'm pretty sure that guy's going to be ready to play immediately, or maybe we throw him in AAA for a month, give him a few starts there, and then bring him up. I don't know. We'll make that decision. We already saw what happened with our first pick from a year ago on what happened by sticking him immediately into the Major League side. It didn't go too well for that young catcher of ours. It's been less than a week. We're 32-21 right now. John King, the other basically top-rated starter that we have in the lineup, oblique strain, 4 weeks. So he's also going to be heading to the injured reserve list, and that means we're down 2 starters. Now, Nowicki, it's been like 5 days, 6 days. I mean, that's it. But we do have our man signed. Now, I want to see, has he had a start yet? I put him straight into AAA, essentially to replace Adamitz, and they want us to call him up immediately. But how's he looking? This is kind of funny, kind of not. He's supposed to be, normal on injury proneness, but Ramsey David came in, got his first start, AAA, one game. He won his game, gave up 0 runs, threw 6 2/3 innings, had just 1 hit against him, had 4 strikeouts. Yeah, just insane numbers for one outing. I mean, it's one outing, okay, but a one hitter in almost 7 innings. And he got hurt. Tired arm. It's only going to be a few days, though. So we are going to bring up Ramsey David. Might as well. We gave him a start in AAA. He'll be recovered in 3 days. And then we'll bring him on up. We're going to go ahead and play a live game here. Pantoja gets a start today through just regular rotation. But otherwise, it's 8 of my standard starters in the field. But the big thing is it's Ramsey David, our top pick, the number 3 overall pick, getting his first start at the major league level after just a single AAA start, a very good one at that. Let's see how he does now. Now we're up against a Brendan Mckay. Brendan Mckay is 5-0 and has a very good ERA, even though he's only a 2-star guy, but his whip at 1.5, well, he's vulnerable. Let's see if we can actually turn that into something. We obviously have the lineup to do so. Mccormick is hot right now. LeBoy has been cold for a while, but he's now ended that cold streak, so he is hopefully coming out of that and will pick up a little steam. This could be a good opportunity with a pitcher who might be a little vulnerable to get that going. And the game is underway. Let's see how we do. We will try to make our way quickly through this one as quick as possible. But first at bat, first at bat is a hit. So not the best start after he did this for nearly 7 innings, only giving up 1 of these the whole time. First batter he faces at the major league level is a hit. But then he does answer back, settles the nerves a little bit, and strikes out the next guy he faces. But we're going to see a steal, not even an attempt to throw. That's one thing that's really frustrating on this game is you have no-brainer situations because now this guy's going to score. This guy's going to score, and why? Why? No reason for that. Now, could he have successfully stolen the base? Sure. Absolutely. Would he have successfully stolen that base? We don't know. Would this next guy have gotten the hit? We don't know. Maybe the pitcher's a little more rattled because of the run he gave. Wow, this is a terrible start for Ramsey. This is why I wanted him in AAA, and maybe we are going to be sending him back to AAA if his first few starts are anything like this. Let's go ahead and speed things up a couple of innings and see if he has settled down. That one banged off the wall, and the right fielder who's going to get there easily, well before the center fielder, stops and waits for the center fielder to get there. There's just situations that don't make a lot of sense in this game, and it's frustrating. 5 hits already to a guy who, looked a lot better than that when we started. Finally, we get out. Our very first out, and the 4th run scored. All right, so Eddie Yeen came in the top of the 3rd. So Ramsey only lasted 2 1/3 innings, and he was probably on the hook for that 5th run as well. So not a great first start. Let's go ahead and just get out of this game, as Ramsey is who we were here for, and we'll see if the team was able to come back. So close. So close to nailing down the comeback, getting 8 runs. But Ramsey is going to open his career with a loss. Also, also 3 errors committed today by the team. And the team is a little bit cold here lately. I mean, they've not performed terribly well. A little frustrating on that part. I mean, there's been a lot of missed opportunities. Luke Raley has been super hot, though, and continues to be. He's now got 14 homers, 37 RBI, hitting 360 on the season so far, has been the standout guy. Getting him out of that third spot in the lineup, bumping him down to number 5, takes that pressure off just a little bit. He's not right in the core of the lineup. He's still close to the heart of the lineup, but just far enough back now that pressure is off. Plus, I think most likely Rayleigh feels a little more confident in the players around him. LeBoy, Yerzy can get on base for him, which gives him opportunities to bring in runs. Knowing McCormick is behind him, and McCormick is doing much better than a year ago. Yeah, McCormick's only hitting 258 overall, but he's really done a lot, right? 12 homers, 31 RBI. So realistically, it's our 4-5 hitters that have actually, or sorry, 5-6 hitters that have done the most this season, and the 3-4 hitters are doing well, but not great. But in his first ever outing, Ramsey David, just 2 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, and just 2 strikeouts through there. So not a good start to his major league career. And that was what I was worried about, of thinking it would be a little too soon. But that injury and then second injury kind of nudged me in that direction. And this might be a little too soon for him, especially when we are in the middle of a pennant race. So we'll check in after his next start and see if it's just as bad, and I might make a move early to bring somebody else up. Then again, King's only going to be out for 2 weeks? Maybe we, give, that's like 3 starts for David. Throw away 3 games potentially, give him a chance. I think we'll go that far. And then he might be the one headed back to AAA. We have a new top prospects ratings list, and it is different than it was for us. We presumably have dropped down quite a bit for, 2 reasons. One, this year we've focused on strengthening our major league squad, not our minor league squad. So I've traded minor league pieces, and I've traded up. I've traded up to major league talent. We've focused on developing that roster, which really shows with a drastically turned around record. 40-27 at the moment. We're good now. We're pretty good at the moment. But that came out of direct upgrades, which did limit our pieces a little bit. Second thing was we had a ton of minor league talent that joined the major league roster last season. So they were all listed last year as prospects, as rookies. Well, now they're not rookies anymore. So now they're no longer on the prospect list anymore. So we've lost a lot of minor league prospects out of that. Now we have plenty of future talent, but they're not almost major league ready, and that's part of what this list has to do with. You're not going to get too many real low level guys in the top of the list. So in terms of batters, our highest guy is Peter Hansen, third baseman. He is at AAA, but he's only a 2.5 star kind of guy. So he is down the list pretty far. Jordan Williams, left fielder, is a 1.5, 2.5 kind of guy. But look at this. I mean, there's 4 in a row between 84 and 87, with single A and rookie accounting for 3 of those 4 guys. Now, hopefully pitchers are a little bit better for us, and at the moment they are. David Ramsey shows up at 26 on the list, and this is like straight out of the draft. He's that high on the list already. But we're looking at, he's now 1-1 with an ERA of 3.5 and 18 innings pitched. He's done much better after that first start. So he is settled down, got the nerves out of the way in that first bad performance. He's done better since then. But Mendez is the next guy, way down at 62. I'm surprised he's this low on the list. But he's not been great this season. He's struggling, and he should be almost ready. Kronowski is up here as well, and Lancelotti. Adamits is now on this list. Caleb Hill. So we do have plenty of prospects, but they're just not as high on the list as what we saw previously, and a lot of them just aren't quite Major League ready. And in the rankings of the systems themselves, we are down to 10th as a result. We've definitely lost a few points. But again, mostly that comes from those pieces are in the major leagues already and no longer rookies and therefore no longer counted as prospects, or we traded up to win now. And still have a pretty good minor league system. It's just not as dominant as it was. And just that quick update on how the team is doing, especially as we were just talking about our minor league system. So at the major league level, we're 2 games behind Reno. So we are still out of that promotion zone, but we are quite close. We are on top, +5 in the wild card. So we're looking really strong for at least a wild card, but maybe not a promotion this year. Luke Raley still hitting 344. This is, 2 weeks later now. Ahmad Hudson has gone up to 300 with his average, so he is hitting the ball well. Our guy with the most wins, John King, is the one who's been on the DL for the last couple of weeks, so we have missed that, but we're doing well, right? Runs scored first. Most of the batting statistics have us right at or near the top. Stolen bases, which was at the bottom of the league temporarily, is now up to second. And then the pitching stats, well, we're looking at total runs against is 6th, and that is probably about right. Our starters is doing a little bit better. We did gut out our bullpen a little bit. It's only 10th. And we have not found anything on the waiver wire. We are 67 games into this season, and I think we've picked up 1 player off of the waiver wire. There's 2 reasons for that. One, the major league players that are coming down aren't as good as we've seen in past years. I think the leagues have really settled down a little bit from where they were. The chaos of the AI sorting out what is a 3-tier system, the random assortment of players that all the teams began with filtered down. Well, the major leagues, you're seeing plenty of players get waived, but eligibility of obtaining those players goes to the championship, and we rarely have access to those major league players. Now, I don't know what rule stipulates that we can pick those guys up if we want them, but the championship guys we can. And we're not seeing players waived from the championship, just the major leagues for the most part. Or the ones that we are seeing waived by the championship aren't good enough to help our team. That's the other part to it. Our team's gotten a lot better. And so there's not a ready stream of players coming out of the waiver wire to make this squad better than it was, or to even fill out those 10 slots we still have available on our 40-man roster that we cleared, ready to go to make use of the waiver wire to get better. It just hasn't happened this season, so now we just have all those empty spots. But anyway, funny thing about the 2 call-ups that we made, Ramsey David, after that initial bad start, he's been good in the last couple, and he's brought his numbers right on down to a good level. It's Joseph Adamits who's actually struggled, but Adamits is the only lefty in the lineup right now, as we had 2, but King was one of them. So when King comes back, we'll get another lefty in the lineup. But Adamits has not done well in his, I think, 3 starts that he's had, maybe 4 starts that he's had now, with an ERA over 8. So he might find himself back down in AAA when King comes back and Ramsey David staying put. Kevin Kelly is one that we're probably going to move on from soon. He has struggled all season long in the bullpen, and everybody else is doing pretty dang good there. So I think Kevin Kelly, part ways with him, package him with somebody else, trade up, get something back in return. But in terms of the minor league system, I know I'm covering a couple of them. I'm not going to move the face cam over that. I'll just let you know how they're doing. So AAA is looking good, 45-31. AA is doing okay at 35-38. Single A is 39-34, so they're doing decent. And again, we traded a whole lot of pieces. Remember, we traded out about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We traded maybe 60 pieces away from our minor league system in the name of, 20 or 30 of those were still useless pieces. But the AAA group was pretty good, and the Major League group got better as a result, right? We traded those pieces down bit by bit to get a handful of pretty dang good Major League players. Just getting started now on the short A and rookie leagues after the draft is now done, and the guys have been signed, and we got all of our guys signed. Only the one up at the highest level. Everybody else is either playing in that short A or rookie league. We took 3 or 4 of those draftees and put them in the short A season team because it had a small roster, but it definitely had some spots. It's got about 19 players right now, and then that means we've got about 17 from the draft that all ended up on that rookie team, plus maybe 5 other players that were there. So it's the rookie, it's our draft is the rookie team. They are 1-4 for the short A team, and the rookie team is 3-2 so far. So just underway on their season. All-Star game rosters have been announced, and we have 6 players that have been selected for the All-Star game. The only pitcher, though, is Corey Nebel, our setup man, who's been fantastic, our only player over the age of 30. His stuff is 80. I mean, it's very good. ERA at 1.05. He's done quite well for us. Matt McCormick, the second year now catcher, has made the All-Star list as a catcher. He was second. He came from not even on the list as the voting was going on to, there he was on third, and then right at the end he moved up to number 2. So he has really come into his own as this season has gone on, though realistically wins above replacement. He's only third best out of the 3 here. Yerzy has made the list. Big upgrade for us at first base. He has done very well. That was a free agent signing that we had this year. We had 2 free agents, I think, that we picked up that major league talent wise. Ahmed Hudson was the top vote getter for the entire infield, and he came in as the shortstop selection. And then Tony Ibarra and Luke Raley. So Ibarra playing left field for us, Raley playing right field, both making the All-Star list. I was a little surprised about the Ibarra selection. I think he was near the bottom of the list on those picked. And Ahmed Hudson, words. Ahmed Hudson has just won the All-Star MVP, so nice on him for that one. Let's go ahead and see how the team did. Dang, 3-0. That's a rarity. Just 7 hits for the U.S. League. The International League amassing just 3 in this game. At top of the second, Luke Raley hit a run-scoring double. And then they didn't score. That's the other Nebel. There's more than one Nebel out there. Ibarra started top of the lineup, started out in right field. He went 1 for 3. Hudson 2 for 3 with a run scored. So 2 hits, that's what got him the... Wow, and Rayleigh started as well. 3 of them started. 1 for 2 for Rayleigh, also with the RBI. Yerzy came in, pinch hit, but no stat line for that, so not sure. Reached on an error or something along those lines. Where somebody got thrown out trying to steal a base and never got to finish the at-bat. The only one who struggled for us was Mccormick. Mccormick struck out in his only at-bat, leaving 2 runners on base. There it is. Yerzy hit by pitch. And Luke Rayleigh had the only extra base hit for the U.S. League. The International, it looks like they had a couple of doubles, but that was their only extra base hits. They only had 3 hits total, so they had 2 doubles and a single in the game. And only 1 walk, so only 4 guys getting on base. 2 of them straight to second, 1 of them to first base. Nebel gave up 1 of the hits, but he also had 3 strikeouts. Dang. Now with 5 straight wins entering the All-Star break and Reno Silver losing 3 straight games, we have flipped the script and gone from second to first, have gone back into the lead of the division and back into the promotion playoff spot. We are more than a game ahead of Irving Keystones. We're a win ahead of them, but they've had 4 losses more than us at this stage of the season. So effectively, half game counted for each of those means we are 2 games above Irving. We are 2 games above Reno. So right now, we are 2 games to the good in the promotion spot. Charlotte Raging Bulls do have the best record, though, 2 games ahead of us. Plenty of season still to play, though. It is much, much too early to start going ooh or ah, anything along those lines. Regardless, though, it's quite clear that not only are we going to be a 500 team this season, but we are very, very capable of winning a fair share of games. I think we should be in the playoff picture at least throughout this season. I don't know about the promotion spots. That's a pretty big ask to go from last place to promoted the very next season, but who knows? We've made the right moves. Do we have any more moves? Should I make any more moves or let this team play as is and not mess with the chemistry? I probably don't want to mess with the chemistry. All right, folks. Well, that is going to do it for this episode. Of course, now all we really have is a trade deadline looming and the end of the season coming. So we will be progressing quite a bit faster in the upcoming stages of this one. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.